That made you want to be the A&R, like because
Yeah,
you were a Rock Nation. You were top of the top, like
yeah, I was like slowly building my status as far as bringing dope shit in. You know what I mean? Like I
you.
said,
Of course, your legendary story of playing Griselda for the first time for Jay and shit.
yeah, wait. So with Jay, that Jay shit was funny because I was playing Cal on ignorant levels, like house party levels, playing that shit dumb loud. But mind you, Cal's a fucking deep rapping song, like you know
Yeah,
what I
no, that's not like a party
mean?
song.
Yo, nah,
That's the
bro.
definition of scaring the
Yeah,
hoes
yeah.
music.
So
Yeah.
imagine corporate people just walking in the office like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? And I'm blasting that shit on ignorant level, but I remember Jay passing by, like, what the fuck is like doing, like, and really playing it for a lot of people in that building, like playing different shit. Like I remember that show, like I said, in Webster Hall, being there, and the next day telling people like, "Yo, I've been to the greatest show in a long time," like on some hip hop shit. Telling them like, "Yo, these dudes remind me of." In hindsight, not they don't now, but like it gave me the Ghostface Raekwon vibe. Like it gave me that grimy essence of boom bap dirtiness. Like it gave me that feeling of when I grew up. And I just kind of explain it to people like, yo, this shit is crazy. This is you gotta tap in, like telling everybody, even fucking people who don't listen to rap, tap in, like, I was heavy into that. And but I always been that type of person, even with Roc Marcy. Like I brought Roc Marcy to Roc Nation.
Like what connected you? Because I know what connected to me to Griselda in the beginning or what, but like, did you know oh, this is different?
Um, like I said, talking to or just talking or being around West and shit. I seen Wes a few times prior to me linking up with him. I remember once, ironically, this is where how the universe works. One of my boys owned a store in Brooklyn. It was called Rock and Soul, and they used to sell the Rocnation hats early. And I remember Westside Gunn. It was a big event. Everybody was there. I remember Westside Gunn smooth by himself walked in, gave me and my man a pound, bought a Rocnation hat, and kept it moving. But ironically, now he's with Rocnation, and I just saw him really like at that time buying that hat. But I just remember seeing him and he had the gold fronts. And I was like, okay, this is like some old, like, I remember with ASAP doing it, but he, Westside's are like, a little older, like my age. I'm like, oh, he remind me of back in the day, stick up kids from the 80s and shit. And even the way he talked. And I remember listening to the song he did with Sky Zoo, the Rolex. And I remember watching the video. I'm like, yo, where the fuck is this at? Like I know Sky Zoo's from Brooklyn. Where's he from? And then, like I said, building with him, just talking to him and him telling me my story about Buffalo. I'm like, Buffalo? Yeah, I remember going to Buffalo when I was younger, and I knew how Buffalo was back then. And I knew he was like, a little gritty back then and shit like that. So he's telling me his story about Buffalo and what came out of Buffalo, Rick James, the Buffalo Sabres, the Buffalo Bills. That's all for me, being from New York City, that's all I really knew. And Lex Luger. Lex Luger's from Buffalo, from the wrestler.
Is it? Oh, really?
Mhm. uh don't quote me. I feel like this is like muscle memory. I feel like
Yeah.
I think he's from Buffalo. Don't quote me, but
I
I
thought you meant the producer. I was just
no
like,
no 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 the wrestler, the butcher rack,
I was
butcher
like, I didn't know.
rack. Nah, fucking Lex Luger and Sting. But well, Lex Luger I think is from Buffalo. Don't quote the wrestler. So that's all I really knew about Buffalo. And then he started telling me about the hip hop scene out there. At the time, upstate wasn't really like a thing that people really talked about. Probably the closest was 38 Special and Ito.
Yeah.
Um, from like if you're really tapped into upstate hip hop, like Green Lantern was from I believe from Rochester,
Rochester, yeah.
Ito, and Spesh. Those are only three people that came to my mind when I think of upstate rap at the time. And then when you mentioned Buffalo and all that. I'm like, that's pretty dope. That's a unique part of hip hop that nobody talked about yet. Like, what's their
Yeah.
story like? Like, I would like to see how the hood look like over there, and pretty much he would just break it down to me and just seeing for what it is. That's how I kind of knew. That's why I got more attached to it because of this, how his story was, and him being a good dude. Like he's a good, solid individual. Like he was very receptive and cool and respectful, and it was mutual. Like we build, like.
Yeah, it's like the underdog sees underdog thing. And I feel like that might be misconstrued or that word can be taken negatively. But honestly, underdog is just overcoming the odds, the unmeasurable odds to do whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always find myself attracted to that, like the underdog story, and just seeing the journey from there. because at the end of the day, especially with music, you know how many people do music, but to finally see a person's whole story slowly progressing, and then when it finally progresses, it's kind of like, for me speaking, I appreciate that. I root for that shit. Like I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, finally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Finally getting his just due. And like I say, even for myself doing music, as even a producer and the people I'm affiliated with, like I'm still that fan of like finally they paying attention. Finally, like, you know, but like I said, I don't force it either. Like whenever it's that time and people finally catch on, it's like, all right, great. You know what I mean? Now I'm ready to just